Tonight's show, we're talking about the New World Agenda, and I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
Does it look like a Devin or David?
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You like there's something in your end table that you lives too.
My God, you're crazy, girl.
Yeah, he's saying hi, baby girl. He's saying hi, baby girl. And is there significance with like image of a rose at all?
He would
Does that make
always
sense?
give me a rose.
Okay, so he's like doing one now. He's saying to work with some sort of like vibrational machine. Somehow a way to work with like machinery and vibration.
I work with horses, and there's actually some magnawave therapy that's vibrational.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
He doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to feel yourself. Allow yourself to talk to yourself. Allow yourself to respond to yourself. That's looking within.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
There's a reason why we're on this timeline. There's a reason why we've chosen to be in this awakening. I say we're going through a spiritual awakening.
So I don't just come on here and talk bullshit and repeat. I'm living this stuff.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a culture.
Happy Thursday Night Live, everybody. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. How has your week been? We're now in Scorpio season. Woohoo, wee-hee, ha-ha. How you guys feeling about that? A lot of people have been kind of getting little allergic reactions I see in the past week. A lot of eye infections going around. Y'all seeing things clearly? Eric got an eye infection. My dog got an eye infection. Christopher got an eye infection. I've been seeing others getting weird eye infection things. So I always say pay attention to the eye that it's in. If it's the left eye, it's your left-hand path. That means you might not be looking at things that are karmic and looking at the shadow versions of yourself. So pay attention. If it's on the right eye, right infection, you're probably putting out too much empathy. Maybe you're catering too much to other people. You're being too nurturing to people that you probably shouldn't be nurturing toward. So take care of that. If it's in both eyes, well, perhaps you have both those issues. You're not looking at the karmic situation. You're not looking at the shadow version, and you're probably giving it away too much to other people. So make sure you find that balance now, because Scorpio season right now, it's going to be a lot of pride, a lot of overcompensating, a lot of confidence might be starting to come out. But if you're leading with the wrong foot and you're overly confident, overly zealous, that might actually backfire and sting you back. So make sure you all stay in your lane and you're not overcompensating, peeking your nose into things you shouldn't be peeking your nose into, because that will slap back at you as well. Make sure you're staying balanced from Libra season and understand the confidence and the zeal that you have now, that doesn't end up backfiring but working in your favor too. Okay, so let's see who's chatty Cathy in the room, shall we? Greg Gomez, good to see you. Jennifer Cruz, our wonderful mod Nina is in the room. And so those of you who don't know, if you want to get a question in tonight, that is the wrong overlay. Is that the right overlay? No, it's the wrong overlay. Let me fix that overlay. That is the right overlay. That's for Chris Reck next week. It's $15 for a card pull, random card pull, $20 for one question, $30 for two questions, and $40 for a live video with me here. The Venmo and PayPal links are in the description below. And of course, my wonderful mod Nina will, if you have any questions about doing so, will guide you there. So treat her with kindness. She's super kind to you back in return. Iggy, can't you see? Good to see you. That's right. Yep. Scorpio season. Come alive, come alive, come alive. That's right. That is a Scott Cruz track on Apple Music and on Spotify. Go check it out. It's a good track. Thank you for that. Erica Emity, good to see you. Darby Mayberry. I have to post this comment here. She says, "Oh my gosh, I had a reading from Scott yesterday. Amazing. Scott is so genuine. I highly recommend everyone get one. That is so nice. There is my marketing team. Thank you, Darby. And yes, I do remember our session. You are a doll. You are a delight. It was definitely a pleasure to meet with you yesterday. So Darby's amazing. Just amazing energy, actually, with Darby. My brother Daryl, good to see you. My true sister, Lisa Cruz in the room, welcome. My maker, Jennifer Cruz, good to see you. Patty Snow, always a pleasure to see you. PB Gone Cutter, hello. And again, AC, we got in the room, and just going down. Chris Strickland, welcome. Crazy for Cocoa Nuts, yes. It's been a few weeks, right? I haven't seen those coconuts in a while. I hope you don't get that much crazy for coconuts. I haven't seen your coconuts in a while. Grateful to have you back. Hopefully you can watch the previous episodes, see some great messages, but good to have you here today as well. And Brenda Zweck, good to see you as well. And Lisa Guzman, good to see you as well. Rhonda, happy Thursday to you as well. Michelle Bell, hey. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in for ages. Good to see you. You're back and you're breathing. That's good. Sydney Aaron, welcome, my love. Good to see you as always as well. Diane DeStefano. And all those who are watching, I cannot see. You can only see who is Chatty Cathy in the chat there. And those of you who are new, I do start with a collective read for the week. I'm a psychic medium, so I don't necessarily need to use tarot, but I do utilize tarot in circumstances of such, like collective reads and collective purposes. So that's great. Angie Russell, good to see you. And then after that, I'll get into the topic. And the topic today is the New World Agenda. You know, kind of like we're going to see where is this world headed? And there's a little bit of an agenda beyond all this. And what is all that? And how can we prepare ourselves for what's to come? And how can we see through what is already here? So we'll get into that too. And then we'll open up for the live reading. So make sure you get your questions in now, because I will close them at some point and it'll be first come, first serve. So if you want to get it in now, get it in now. All right. Let's shuffle these cards without further ado. Let's get going here. Okay. Yeah, Michelle, we didn't miss you. We missed your energy. So we missed the bright light. Teresa, good to see you as well. Welcome in. Okay. Oof, wow. I mean, these cards are inhabitant today. We'll just take out the Knight of Wands here for a moment. Let's move this book. That just like they just scattered everywhere. Which I understand the Knight of Wands is kind of what I was saying in the beginning. Yeah, you'll have to fill us in, Michelle, what you've been doing. Maybe I'll get you on a video here. We'll have you come on. For free, and you don't have to pay for it. Are the birds too loud? Are they still in your face? Or do they need to be lowered? I can't hear them on my end. It's with the shroom sphere. You see the shroom sphere? Because this is the world I'm creating. My new world agenda is actually to be very in the shroom space. Okay, let's see here what we got here. Interesting. There's a lot here, I would say. Go figure. Scorpio season, huh? Never really simplistic in the Scorpio season. Okay. Just going to get some oracle cards and then we'll begin. I'm also kind of in a channeling state right now as I'm shuffling. Okay. All right. This is a part of the live. It's live. I wish I can cut it out, but if you're watching the replay, just shuffle ahead. Fast forward ahead. Interesting. I love it. All right. They had me pull a lot today on this, but I won't make it too long and cumbersome. Okay. This week ahead, especially now that we're in Scorpio season, guys, you're going to feel a lot of anxious energy or rambunctious energy. There might be a little duality here. That rambunctious energy could be the fact that you need to start like speaking up and get things going now. It's time to like take that risk, take that jump, take that leap. As I said 2 live shows ago or 2 weeks ago, I said, do not rely on the validation of others to encourage you to move forward. Now's not the time. It will never be the time. It may never come. And so if you missed that, I actually made it shorten the speech down to a short called self-validation. Go check that out. But if you're waiting on that validation or for someone to encourage you or just someone to validate you, it ain't coming. You better start now and get it going. Otherwise, that rambunctious energy, if not attended to, is going to turn into anxiety. And so if you're not in tune to your emotions and to your emotional responses, many times people confuse anxiety and excitement. They don't know the difference between the two. So in this case, if that rambunctious energy is not expressed, it will be anxiety. You will feel this unsettled energy within yourself. It's time, even during this period, whether you have that rambunctious energy that's being expressed in a positive way, or if it's expressed either in reservation, you're going to need to find some sense of nurturing. I forgot to show you the first card. First card was the Six of Swords, and then, of course, we have the Queen of Pentacles here. So you're going to have to find some nurturing energy. And so whether it be through your own, resources or an actual person or nurturing mother energy, you're going to need to find that balance of nurture. Because if you're not finding that balance of nurture and it's not kind of, nurturing that rambunctious energy, there's going to be a lot of extremes going on in your life. And especially with Scorpio season, as I said in the beginning, if you are taking that rambunctious energy, that unresolved energy, that angst energy, and you start dabbling into other things that are not your business, for example, gossip, or you're dabbling into situations and relationships that is not your business, it's going to slap back at you energetically. And this is why you have to somehow nurture the energy on your own so you have complete guidance of view of where you should be headed and what you should be doing and expressing. With the Two of Wands too, it's saying that it is time to look beyond. It is time to look beyond. It is time to understand what you've been doing now has built a great foundation for yourself, either through the negative and the positive. It doesn't matter. But there is more beyond. And now it's time to look beyond the horizon and take everything that you've established up to this point, all the lessons, all the emotional pain, all the emotional celebrations, and let that be the catapult that pushes you forward to see beyond and say, there is more for me. There's more than just the mundane. And that rambunctious energy, that anxious energy that could also be exciting energy can allow you to be the fuel for you to move forward. Because with the Tower in reverse, as we all know what that is, right? The Tower, it's not in the upright, because the upright is more of an intense energy, but the reversed is breaking things down in a moderate fashion, right? You don't have to kind of turn the house upside down, but you're kind of breaking down the simple things that may have been things you need to be clearing out anyways. And, even the simple relationships, the simple communications, those simple dialogues just been carrying on for no reason. Time to break it down and cut it down and start, allowing yourself to recognize a better strategy for yourself moving forward now. And that really has to do with confidence, the foundation of self. And I always say confidence is really just a result or a manifestation of how comfortable you are with something. So the more comfortable you are with something, the more confident you are in it. So if you become more comfortable with listening to yourself, be more comfortable on acting on these energies that you're feeling, these emotions that you're feeling, these inspirations that you're feeling, if you become comfortable in acting on these things, you'll be confident every step that you take moving forward. And so a lot of that is just you being conscious and the repetition. And and I love too with the Six of Cups too is also about looking in the past and taking the good aspects of your past, almost like going back to your roots. What happens a lot of times is when we're evolving and we make so many different changes, we forget to go back to our roots and understand what was our initial joy, what was our initial interest, what was our initial well-being when we go back to our roots when things are really good. And if you can't think about a part where things are really good, then go back to your roots when things are really bad and ask yourself, have you changed from that? Because so many people, when you say go back to a time in your life that you can remember that was very pleasurable, be like, I don't have a time that's pleasurable for me. It's all bad. Well, then great. Have you made any changes from your roots? Have you grown from those roots? Either way. And so if you're still in the same rut that you were in the past, then you haven't grown. So it's time to create some newer memories, because the memories you create today will be the past in the future. And so you want to have things to look back on and some sort of growth. Don't plateau. And that's why a lot of this anxious energy, this rambunctious energy needs to be acted on very wisely and with in a very productive fashion coming from, I would say the inward soul, right? The internal aspect, the internal guidance that we have. That's where it needs to be coming from. That's where we need to activate these actions and these behaviors. And so I love the Oracle cards. We have the Fear card here, also next to the extremes. Right? So in a sense, it's not so much saying that you will be in fear and have extremes. It's almost saying the more you activate the fear, the more you experience the extremes. Because, what fear does, it's supposed to be an alert. I would say fear is like a check engine light in your car. It's just alerting you to, hey, look at this. And when you're not looking at those things, then what happens is you start becoming more of a dichotomy in your life because you're resisting the growth of where you want to be because of the fear, and you're pulling yourself on the further end of the spectrum in fear. So you're living in an extreme of dichotomy. And I always say, too, if you're pulling on both sides, I want to go forward, but no, I can't. And it's like a tug of war with the self. You'll never let go. You'll always be sit in the extremes, and thus the fear rules. The fear will start dominating. It's not supposed to fear is not supposed to have all that power. Everything in life is a suggestion. It's up to you to determine, and it's up to you to decide whether or not that emotional response that you're having is going to inspire you to move forward or keep you stuck. We have two options here: move forward or stay stuck. Not really do we move backwards. You just stay stuck and go in a loop. We either do that or we move forward. So now is the time to, with your will, with thy will be done. It's really time to, take the free will that you have inside and ask yourself, what are you doing with your free will? We forget about this. A lot of people, when they get in their circumstances or they're behaving a certain way and the results are not, rendering the way they want the results to be, they just feel like they're a victim to reality and a victim to circumstance versus saying, oh, well, I used my free will to make those decisions. Let me use my free will to make and create a different circumstance for myself. Let me use my free will to make a different choice for myself. That's important to recognize and be conscious of. Because when you don't do this, you can easily fall into the victimhood mentality. Easy fall into, oh, woe is me. Oh, why is this happening to me? Oh, why does the universe give me all this shit? It's like, you're just getting what you're putting out. It's like you place an order like on Amazon and then you get the delivery. Same thing with your conscious thoughts and your conscious actions. That's you placing your order and then you will receive everything that you've been putting out. It's not that difficult. But if you keep falling back into the victimhood mentality, that's going to sting you this season. And you'll be shown how much of a victim you are not. Okay? A friend of mine, who's in the public eye, decided to utilize a illness for sympathy. And it's stinging her right now. It's not working. Because you can't all of a sudden say, well, I'm not going to take responsibility for my actions, so I'm going to blame it on something else. Scorpio season ain't going to have it. And she's getting stung because of that. No one's having that. Right? So any decision that you make that's in vain or ego is going to be very prevalent, and it's going to sting you back. That energy is going to slap you back in the face. So you better come with sincerity. Make sure you're conscious of coming with sincerity, and that you're not playing that tug of war of where you should be versus where you don't want to be, and you're keeping stuck and you're experiencing extremes and thus stuck in fear. Allow yourself to, again, get into that nurturing state, either through finding friends and being around friends that do nurture you. Maybe it's time to reach out and have some moments with your family. It's interesting because we're right around holiday season. So I think now is a perfect time to start like nuzzling up to your family, nuzzling up to your friends or people that are around you that provide nurturing in return. Now it's time to nuzzle up around that so you can really find the foundation and go back to the roots of self and really take action from that sense of confidence because you've now determined how comfortable you are in your own energy, in your own foundation. And that's important for this Scorpio season right now because, again, any decision you make will kind of be very, I would say, instant. I don't want to say instant. Any decision that you make will be very prevalent in its manifestation of it, either good or bad. So the tangibles now, because Scorpio season is a very denser energy. After coming out of Libra season, we were finding that balance, and we find that the good, the inside, the outside, the ego, and the spirit. So finding that balance. And now that we're supposed to be taking those clues, now things about kind of manifestation and expression. And if you're not doing it accordingly, you might just keep yourself stuck and keep yourself in isolation, and that could be also detriment to your evolution and your path moving forward. So. Oof, it is hot in here, so let me turn down my AC. Thank God for the Nest app, right? So pay attention to this, guys. Why was it on 78? I need a sensible 72. That's what I like it on. Sensible 72. When I sleep, it's 70. So now's the time, guys, to ask yourself, are you acting in vain? Are you acting in passion, or are you acting in fear? In which state of being are you acting in? And understand the state of being that you're acting in will render the experiences that you experience because of those actions. That's what we call manifestation. And as I've been saying, quite frequently the past couple of weeks, is that intention is where the direction is, and action is how it manifests. So pay attention to your intentions, guys. Let's see if there's a second part. If not, we'll just move on to the topic. And I think there's a couple more cards. I mean, I do want to keep it simple. I've been finding it very cumbersome after I do these long intro reads and stuff to cut them down to shorts. But I'm going to keep it simple tonight. Exactly. 72 days, 78 nights. Amen. Hallelujah. Because I can't sleep when it's hot. And for some reason, my body heats up when I'm sleeping at night. So I need to like drop it. I need to sleep in the cold. Okay. I love this, actually. If you do everything I just mentioned, I love the Three of Cups, all about celebration, come together. I like to take this Three of Cups card and talk about mind, body, spirit harmony. So if you follow through with being conscious of your intentions and conscious of, being conscious of your being conscious of your foundation of self, and you're comfortable with this, and you build that confidence, and you act from that state, you'll have success in a lot of things. You will feel that mind, body, spirit synchronicity and harmony, and things will just feel like things are manifesting in your favor. That's the illusion. We think it's just laying before us, but we just connected correctly. And because everything is already connected, so things always just shift to accommodate the energy, and so your reality would be doing the same thing for you. It would be kind of maneuvering to accommodate. I love the Four of Wands. It's like saying, stay in your lane. So for me, Four of Wands in the upright position is always symbol like new home, a move. That's kind of my, my symbol for that. And, building a new sanctuary for self, and, and also getting a new home, new property, all that stuff. And the upright saying, stay put. I always say when I get the Four of Wands reverse, stay put, like stay in your lane. So it's kind of what we were saying before, stay in your lane. Don't start peeking, like I said before, don't start peeking your nose in anybody else's business, things that don't concern you. I know it's easy to do that, and, especially now with, we're so far, it's not too far away from the election, and so people are like trying to meddle in people's opinions and what they're writing on Facebook. It's like, is that really necessary? Is that doing anything? It's not doing anything. And, the more you discuss and argue and bicker about people's opinions and stances, you're dumping more of the negativity into the collective, and you're causing more of the problem. And this is leading us right into the topic of the New World Agenda. Back in the 50s and 60s, they started a project called the MK Ultra Project. And I did a show about this, a topic about this. You can watch that episode that I've done about this topic. And just basically, it was a program and an experiment. They utilized psychotherapy. They utilized even psychiatric drugs, and they allowed these types of these process and programs to affect the brain, so people would start becoming like programmed. They would leave recorders on their pillows and have the recorder like repeat the phrase over and over again, and it started changing these people. So it was an experiment. They realized by continuous repetition, by suggestions, they can alter the mind and get the mind to do whatever they want them to do based on these types of treatments, through drugs and psychiatrics and psychotherapy and repetition. And so along the years, it's definitely kind of, expanded from that. And if we go into today's period, what we see now is we have an abundance of misinformation. And so when we start with this agenda, if you never know what is true, then how can you actually have the empowerment if everything has truth wrapped in lies? How can you ever find the truth? Because as we always hear, knowledge is power, truth is power. If you can't find it, where's your power? You don't have your power. And because many people are entrenched in cultural, expressions and information, they're really being programmed by what is fed to them, not as what is realized by them. Because what people are not using this day and age is their discernment. We all have built-in intuition. But because there's so much misinformation, people trying to process what is real, what is not, all these different, I would say psyops is what I call them, they lose the sense of self and the sense of discernment. That's an agenda to keep us divided in that sense. And the more that we fight against trivial issues, of course, they understand what's going to trigger people, which is what is race, gender, sexuality, right? All these things that are not really the detriment of the evolution of our world, but it does trigger people's empathy. And so there's always going to be opposing, say, views on these types of topics. And that's become politics. Politics hasn't really become about green air, green energy. It hasn't really become about, saving money, the economy. Politics politics has now just become about race, gender, and what? Sexuality and religion. That's now the main topics of what religion is defined as, and why people vote. People vote because, oh, well, I gay rights, or female rights, and and the economy. It's never things that's really things that we need for the planet. But to me, that is the point. Because through that separation of ideologies, that creates people in a sense of fragmentation, which we never really come together and evolve as a collective. If we're divided, then we can easily be controlled, as we all know this. It's the divide and conquer mentality. And so I want to say through that pyramid sphere that we see, and if you look at your dollar bill in the back of that dollar bill, there's that pyramid, right? And at the top, there's that all-seeing eye, the illuminated eye, right? And so what does that mean? It really means that those at the top understand, can see all, but really kind of dictate everything. And even us, we can have that perspective on the top. If we look down in a fifth dimensional perspective, we can see all the truths and all the lies. But many people are at the bottom. They're just kind of focusing on what's above them, what's above them, what's above them. They're not jumping to the top of that pyramid, so to speak. So there are people in the lower levels of government who are generally fighting against this left-right paradigm, but those at the top understand to just throw these divisive energies out there, these ideologies out there, and people continue to fight, left versus right, left versus right, left versus right, Coke versus Pepsi, Target versus Walmart. Do you see what I'm saying? The illusion of choice. So the more you fall into this like anti-left, anti-right propaganda, you're being controlled and manipulated. Because if you look at how people are so reactionary to these things, people will scream and kill people and cut people off because of the ideologies they believe in, because you don't agree with me. That's the mentality, this narcissistic tendency of, you don't agree with me, you're this, and all these name callings, all this like negativity of hate just because someone doesn't agree with you. It's become to this like morality contest in a sense. That's an agenda to keep you divided, because what we should be doing is looking at what is best for the planet. What one does behind closed doors is their own prerogative. And identity should not be wrapped into politics. Politics should be about economy, making money in our pockets, extending our rights, keeping our rights safe, also providing, decent aspects and resources for social services that we pay for. Not that I'm talking about socialism by any means, but a mixture of a system that benefits of what we pay for. I don't pay for people to discuss my gender and race. I don't pay taxes for that. I pay taxes to make sure our world can thrive and the world can move on, that we do have roads, that we do have good education, that is resources for healthcare, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there are people working on those that can make our society better when it comes to clean air, and also the manufacture of foods and make sure they're regulated so they're healthy. That's not being done. None that's being done in this world. We have more toxic foods. The air quality is getting worse and worse, right? And there's no regulation of AI. The education system is bombing and taking. What are these politicians doing? Where's our world going? You see, because they do not want it to go there. Good education is empowerment, so we can't have that. Good health is empowerment. We can't have that either, because they won't be dependent on big pharma for their health information. Right? Healthy food also keeps a healthy body. It prevents illness. So then where's the control if they can't keep people sick? Misinformation, to understand the truth and really seeing things for what they are. When you see the truth, you find more of the internal soul of self, and that brings more intuition to the table. You'll start seeing through the things, which gives you the power and takes away power from the big man, big brother. So it's a very simple thing, and I see so many people just read one little post and get so triggered off of a post that 90% of the times it's false information. And I see that on both sides. So like politically speaking, I'm a moderate. I don't buy into the extremes of left and right bullshit. It's so obvious it's created to be a sport. But you see the same thing. There's something created. People pass that around as false information. I look up real quick like that's not true. I do it for both sides, the left and the right, actually. It's stupidity. It's nonsense. And so when you guys get so triggered over a politician, ask yourself, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Why does a politician get you so heated and so passionate? Oh, but that's where the world is going. So why are you putting that energy and all that power invested in a politician? Then you blame other people because how other people are voting. So what we have to do is be an influence. If we all stop responding and reacting the way we do, things will change. Things will change. We all stop voting for the two-party paradigm bullshit, things will change. But no, people are voting out of haste. I hate Trump, so I'm voting Kamala. I hate Kamala, I'm voting Trump. It's just the same repetitive bullshit. And so if you're going to contribute to the agenda and solidify the agenda, stop complaining. You're creating it. And it's time to snap out of this to understand this is the agenda all along, guys. You can see it through the news. You can see it through the media. They sway people's emotions left and right, left and right. Look what they did with the vaccines and the shots and all that stuff. Look what they did with all that, how they swayed it left and right to just confuse people. It was almost like, you know, they played one side, and once they got the medical scientific evidence of what the shots were, then they kind of played the other side. They keep doing that back and forth. So it's time to stop swinging out of this paradigm crap and start understanding this is an agenda, that we need to start standing up and start creating our own choices instead of picking choices that have been fed to us, and start selecting on our own. Imagine if people just didn't vote this time around. The whole country just didn't vote. It's not going to happen. Just imagine though if they didn't. What would happen? Right? Or what if everyone just voted for a green or independent party? What would happen? Right? So we have to start thinking outside of the box when it comes to this, and look at the information that you're being fed. Look at these advertisements that you're seeing all the time. Look at what the social media platforms are constantly pushing at you, and ask yourself why. Ask yourself why. You know, and I like Casco says here too, you know, what are the thoughts on fact checkers? I don't trust them either. I mean, who's fact checking the fact checkers? You know, here's the thing about the world of misinformation that we live in. You know, I'll type in one thing about my dog had an eye infection. I'm like, is colloidal silver good for this? You get half a study saying it's horrible for you, and half the study saying it's amazing, beneficial for you, all from different studies. So you have some studies that say it's bad, some studies say it's good, and you find this with almost everything. Is this good for that? It's wonderful this, horrible for digestion. It's like, one said it's great, the other said it's bad. I'm starting to see this everywhere I look now. And different studies and scientific resources now. Always a dichotomy of information. That's to keep you confused. Now is the time more than ever in this mishmash of a world that's based on confusion, as everyone's arguing about their pronouns, as everyone's arguing about their religion, as everyone's arguing about their race and arguing about their gender and arguing about their sexuality. There's things going behind the scene that you're all not paying attention to, that's really becoming a detriment to our world, because those who are actually shaping and molding our world are doing so without your permission, because you're so busy focusing on your identity and focusing on standing up for your religion, or this is bad about abortion and all these things that are they really that important to the big scheme of the survival of our planet? When our planet starts going to shit, are you going to be focusing on abortion or what race or gender or what religion that you have? No. When we're going through Armageddon and things are burning down, you're going to focus on resource and the sustainability of resource. So ask yourself this: as our world is increasing and our world is being more dependent on AI, does your gender, race, abortion, and sexuality really matter at the end of the day? Or does resource matter? Or the power to control and have your own resource matter? What's most important to you? I'm not saying that these issues are not important, but in the scheme of things, y'all work that on yourselves through your state. We got to focus on the betterment of humanity, the betterment of our planet, and what's going on behind the scenes, because you all want to complain about AI and talk about scared about AI, but no one's doing anything about that to talk about that. You're just condemning your political opponents, which is nonsensical. You're not doing anything productive. That's the agenda. That is the point. And most people are failing at it. They're buying right into it. And I just see them being like this with strings because of what was said in the media, what was said in their news outlet, what this one tweeted or not. It's time to snap out of that haze, guys. It's time to snap out of that haze. It's time to recognize that, you know, we got to rise above all of that. And the truth is never what's being pushed in your face. And you need to understand this. Whatever's being pushed in your face is not the truth fully. Truth wrapped in lies always. And so, right. And here's another thing too. It is all talk to create confusion and inaction, because what happens is we have all these issues. We rely on the politician. The inaction is, the politician's got to do it. Why don't you get off your fucking ass and do something and start a revolution and do something and maybe change your behavior online and stop fighting against the same crap and start doing something productive if you give it a damn that much, if you don't want to focus on your own life. And also even with religion, Jesus is coming. And poor Yeshua is looking down saying, you idiots. I'm not coming to save anything. You all are here to save and create and evolve our species and the planet. Not me. I was a role model for you to understand the power you have within. Poor Yeshua is like baffled by you all thinking, we can't wait for Christ to come back. He's saving us, the Savior. Again, always looking above for something else to save you. That's why we're in the state we're in. And that's why it's not getting any better, guys. Your religious beliefs, your political beliefs, You're basically making all these things the gods. And let me tell you something, our creator is going to pull away and pluck things out that's going to destroy evolution. So if you're actually in that wheel where you're not actually supporting evolution, you'll be plucked out somehow. In time. So it's time to get out of this haze, this nonsense, and stop making your phone your god. Stop making the social media your god. I would say stop finger fucking the screen. That's all you do. Where's the intellect behind that? What knowledge are you getting? What truth are you finding? And I guarantee you, if you take a step back and give, like I was saying in the beginning in the collective read, if you take a step back and you really find the foundation of self and you tune into the intuition, you'll see through things. When you work on yourself, you get that broader perspective. You can see through the bullshit. And all this political garbage has been like taking away from self-development because you think you're standing up against something and you're not standing up against anything. You're not standing up against anything of relevance, of actual value. What you're doing, you keep amplifying the things that shouldn't be amplified. And that's the agenda, guys. And the agenda is, before you know it, if you look at all these, everything's subscription based now, guys. The whole agenda, if you watch the World Economic Forums, I've been saying this for years now, the goal is that you own nothing, you'll be happy. That's one of their presentations. You want to know what's really going on behind the scenes? Watch the World Economic Forum conferences and meetings and what they're discussing. Why don't you look at the real, what the leaders are really saying behind the scenes, not your media news, not your biased journalists. Watch the World Economic Forum. They want it so they have a one world government. They want it so there's one government controlling the whole world, one world currency. And they also want to make sure that you understand that you don't own anything. Where's your freedom in that? You're missing all of that that's going on behind the scenes because you're focused on race and gender and my pronoun. You didn't say my pronoun and my sexuality and my religion and my God. Like, you're focusing on all this garbage, which who cares what someone says about you? Move on. We're grown-ups here. You know, let's focus on the actual evolutions going on and what they're doing. And before you know it, you're so focused on these mundane, unimportant issues that you'll wake up and you'll be enslaved in reality. And then who are you going to blame at that point? Because you didn't see it. You're focused on the bullshit, the agenda. So the way you see through is to start working on yourselves, guys. Shut off the televisions. I'm not saying to put your heads in the sands, but some of you guys are so wrapped up into that nonsense and negativity, you need to turn it off. It's not doing you any good. You're so overly triggered by everything. Shut it off. And those of you could see through it, then you keep yourself informed. But some of you guys are really you're losing yourselves during this time. You're losing yourself. You're losing your soul. You're losing your perspective through these things because you're massively triggered and manipulated. You don't know what to think anymore. Shut it off. Shut it off. And those who love about you will let you know if there's something to worry about. But work on the self. Work on evolving yourself. Work on taking action for your own life. And when you do, you'll be clear. Your intuition will be very clear. Your awareness will be very expanded. Your discernment will be clear. And then you can see through the bullshit. Many people I know, like, they were getting so involved and they took a step back, and then a year later they come back in, they start seeing things completely differently now. Like, wow, like I was completely wrapped up in those lies, and I can't believe that. And they could see through because they took a break from it. They started working on themselves. Their discernment opened up. The agenda is to keep you dependent. Right? But again, some of us will keep informed. Like, I can watch it and not be objective, so I keep myself informed. I'll let you know what's happening if you need to if you need to, know about something of urgency. I'll let you know. People like us will let you know because I watch it objectively. I'm not unaffected by all of it. But some of you guys, it's actually ruining your life because you're so invested and triggered by it. It's not good. Okay? You should not care. Like, I'm Latin, I'm Puerto Rican Italian, I'm biracial, and I'm gay, I'm a psychic. I mean, I can check the boxes on minority and oppression Olympics here, but I don't care. If someone calls me a name, I don't care. If someone doesn't like who I am, I don't care. Why would I feed that energy? I keep building myself, and it proves more people wrong. We're not in high school anymore, guys. We're grown-ups. What people say is irrelevant. Let them say it. Freedom of speech. What you want to do is make a difference in your own communities, to prove them wrong. And the stronger you build your own communities, the stronger that people actually can't interfere with that. You create a better defense for your own community. All right, so enough of that. So again, guys, that is the main agenda. I can go into so many different aspects, but my spirit guides were telling me to keep it simple on this one. Spirit is saying just keep it very simple about what's going on now, because I can go in so many different parameters and so many different ideologies, and that's not the point. The point is being divided right now, and you can see how that's definitely been a repetitive agenda here. So, And yes, and that concludes what I said in the collective read is stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Someone doesn't agree with you, that's their lane. Stay in your own lane. And that's right. Right, staying in your lane is free. It doesn't cost anything, right? Okay, let's get into these reads. Let me just browse some of the chats here. I want to go more in depth. The Spirit's like, no. Keep it simple. Oh yeah, before I do, let's let me see who's chatting, and we'll get a read from. We have a wonderful message from Nina. Yep, I love that television. Yeah, very true. You know, yep, the balance is important to maintain, but I agree, turn off the media. Some of you guys are just not strong enough to watch it, guys. Some of you guys, if it's triggering you too much and you can't be objective, turn it off. You're not doing anything. Turn it off for yourself. Others of us will keep you informed, okay? We're objective enough. It doesn't bother us. We'll keep you informed if something is that you need to pay attention to, okay? Yeah, basically it is that way, but they're trying to work on a complete one world government, one world domination, basically. You know, that's the goal. I mean, even Bush said it back in the 90s, 80s and 90s about the New World Order and all that stuff. It's not even they don't even hide it, actually. It's written on look at your back of your dollar bill with the pyramid. It says New World Order in Latin. So, yeah, we do. We need to ask ourselves, you know, whether something's good. And we have to have that discernment. And, you know, again, what good is it doing? And should be asking too. You know, this fighting, this bickering, you know. And yes, the World Economic Forum is disturbing. It is, guys. That's your real news. So many people are talking about, they think they know what's going on in the world. I'm like, and I'll just stop and say, do you know what the World Economic Forum is? No, it's that. It's like, yeah, you don't know anything. You don't know anything. You don't know what's going on. Just your biased news organization that you follow. That's a filtered version of what the truth is, and a filtered version just to get you guys up in arms about stupid shit for political purposes. You know. Okay, so good night, Daryl Blankenship. Good to see you. Good, thanks for stopping by. And here's a wonderful message from Nina as I prepare for the live readings.
What is up, Thursday crew? It is me, Nina. I'm excited to share this channel message and pull for y'all. When I was tapping in earlier, I just heard it's time to release seeking reassurance from the external. And I saw that could look like friends, family, colleagues, no more seeking reassurance from external sources anymore. And the first card that popped up was the Gut Instincts card. And so what it feels like is your guides and spirit are really asking you at this time to moving away from the upper chakras and really basing yourself down into the root, the solar, and the sacral, and making sure those lower chakras are really grounded and firmly planted, because I'm just hearing that there's going to be a lot of either static or interference with the crown and the third eye going into the next month. And so keeping yourself grounded and cleaned out so you can follow those gut instincts is really important. And then the other cards that came up too was the base chakra and guidance. So it's time for you to give yourself the guidance that you seek at times from the external.
Yeah, it's very on par. You know, again, that foundation. When you have your foundation, I mean, it's almost freaking... Nina and I kind of been doing this. Nina doesn't know what I'm gonna the collective read, and I don't watch her video until now, and because I like to do that because we have this kind of the same collective read message. So same foundation was almost like literal on what she said. So isn't that crazy, Nina? Because that was a literal message that I used earlier about foundation. So of course we're on the same team, right? And it's true. I'm really glad you hit home on that too, Nina, because it's so true about, you know, during this time about saying that, because if we know your foundation, nothing could persuade you out of that foundation. And then you can see things what they are. And so, and you'll be solid in it, in your perspective. So yeah, I love that. That's awesome. Fantastical. All right. Let's get to the readings card pull for Kate. Let's just hope, Kate, that your daughter doesn't slip in the message. So I think that happened past couple of times for card pull. It ended up being like your daughter came through, you know? Okay. All right, so this is for a random card pull for Kate, and not your daughter, but for Kate. Right, Kate? Can I get a amen up in there with that? I don't think your daughter needs to bombard these reads. I know. It's you. Unless your daughter the last time was like, asking for information. Who are these people around here? How do I read this? I feel like it's too structured. Okay, I just had to these cards are very kind of conflicting and just odd, so I just had to kind of see where direction it was going. But yeah, I feel like the old ways of the way you've been doing things, like the old way isn't working anymore, right? The structured version of how you've been doing things is not doing anything for you. So it's almost like they're saying to think outside the box and focus on the things. This is all about, work and apprenticeship. So really focusing on what your skill sets are right now. Because I feel like the whole nurturing thing that you've been doing is like, all right, you did it. Let's start actually redirecting back into the self. Right, because I think people could be very much. It's like what we're seeing for your daughter, kind of energy interjecting in your read, right? So it's the same thing. I just think just symbolically in your life that people might be just interjecting in your energy to where it becomes more about everybody else and less about you, and it's just not working anymore. Like it's time to create a new regimen for yourself. You think outside the box and put that energy into something that you're good at, a talent, a skill set, or talent. Even if it's just a hobby. So it's time to create that new rhythm for you. It's time to create that newer aspect, and they're saying kind of give it a rest. so and I mean that, I guess that's more literally too, like give it a rest. It's my rest card, chill card, but also it's card saying to me, it's like give it a rest. Like the things that you're trying to get people to look in and trying to get through to people on, like give it a rest. Like, it isn't doing anything for you if you're trying to help someone all the time or trying to get them to see things that they're just not seeing. It's like, it doesn't work anymore. Let's put the nurturing essence back into the self, is a simple message right now for that. Nothing was specific. And again, card pulls are generic and simple. There's nothing really, you don't get so specific on a card pull. It's just a random card pull. But that was the general message there. But also, taking action and peace. So meaning that, your action that you take for the self is where you're going to really find the peace away from all the nonsense, the peace away from all other people's dysfunctions, in a sense. You know what I mean? And the peace away from, the worries and concerns about what somebody is doing if they're not learning their lessons and so forth. And, do they need me or they do not need me? Like just a break from all that and push that away and take action in doing things that really excite you. Because that's where you're going to find your peace, the inner peace. And that inner peace, if you look, there's no one else in that bubble of hers. Do you see other people kind of in that bubble, or is she just in her own little bubble right now? And so it's time to create that own bubble for self now. You've extended enough of that energy and allowed so many other people in your bubble, in your sphere, that it's really time to kind of like let yourself understand what it's like to be in that own bubble of yours, and take action from there. It's time for that. Okay, so that was more of an emotional read. And just guys, card pulls are very simple and they're not specific. Sometimes it can be. Sometimes it's going to be very general in the card pull. Sometimes I do get specifics, and sometimes just an essence that I get. All right. Sydney. What's my rambunctious energy all about? What's the guidance? I told you in the beginning, right? The rambunctious energy. I mean, when are you not rambunctious? The cartwheels, I know. I'm just hearing that, you're saying, I don't know what to do with myself. And so, don't overly emphasize that, because I think a lot of what they're saying too is, just getting out, Good, Kate. Good, because it's just, that was an energetic push they're saying that you needed. You need that push. So, absolutely. Okay, and so back to Sydney. So the rambunctious energy we're talking about is really, you just not knowing to do it yourself. It's okay to keep yourself busy with things that are not so big and important. Like, it's okay to say, yeah, I just want to go out for dinner. I just want to enjoy a concert. Like, it's okay if that's all you want to do, to just enjoy different qualities of life. Not everything has to be massively inspired in a sense of like you're doing some miraculous event or some sort of spiritual thing. It's okay to be like, you know what? I just want to go out and just enjoy the holidays this time around and just participate in enjoying the simplicities of that. So you're just being too out of the box. Go back in the box, say, let me just enjoy the holidays. Like, it's October, we got Halloween and Thanksgiving's coming up, so we can get the smells of the Thanksgiving, the candles, all that stuff. Just enjoy the simplicities right now. And I think that you haven't been allowing yourself to do that, and go see a concert, go take your kids out to a concert, right? And do those things that I feel like they're just very simple. That just gives you some enjoyment. It's going to sound cliche, but just like glad to be alive energy, This is why I have to move out of Palm Springs, because I need seasons. Like, I really want to have Christmas with snow again, and the lights on the snow and that warmth energy, and how it was when I was a kid, going back to my roots, and especially with fall and the smell of wood burning and the autumn leaves, and I just miss that. I miss those cycles, and so those simplicities I miss, right? And so I want to go back to that. So the same thing with you, like, go back to those states, right? Look forward to creating cookies. Like, enjoy these little festivities right now, and that'll get rid of your rambunctious energy. You don't have to always do something so pinnacle, So that's where it's coming from, because you don't allow yourself. You really don't allow yourself to do that sometimes, and I think that's where it's And I would say, guys, too, we're in October. We have a couple months left. Like, it's a good excuse to say, let me just unwind for the rest of this year. This has been a very, very heavy year, right? There's been a lot of change, a lot of realizations this year, a lot of like karma that's been resurfacing this year, right? A lot of redefining, a lot of restructuring, a lot of like your shadow versions being presented in your face. There's been a lot of that, so. And to other person that put a thumbs down, you can go screw. You can go off and go bafanculo. You're getting free content. You don't like it, turn the channel off. No one cares about your opinions. No one cares about whether you like something or not. It's irrelevant. You don't like it, turn the channel. You don't like what you're hearing, go cry somewhere else. No one needs to hear it here. You think you're so empowered because you put a thumb down that you're so empowered? No one cares about you or your opinion. Go somewhere else. These people think they're so empowered. It's pathetic. Okay, we got the Fool card for Patty. This is for Patty now. Card pull. So, what did you say here? Yeah, it's been a lot of that. Patty, you got the Fool card. Okay, so to me, this is new beginnings, right? And let me just pull a couple more, because I feel like I need more information from that. Wow. Okay. This will be emotional read too. It's card pull. But you got all the newness cards, right? So we got the Fool card, we got the Wheel of Fortune card, and we got the World card, Patty, okay? So this is not even just a read, it's an encouragement. So, the Fool card is really about like starting new, starting a new chapter, turning a new page, right? But also it's like, the Fool card is like, make sure you look where you leap, that you're just not like acting out of impulse, but you're also following the inspiration. The World card is kind of connecting back with the community. So I really think that the community is like a next chapter for you, of can be people that resonate with you, but also with what you're working through and what you're going through, right? And I feel like they're saying, your son is like nudging me about the book again, and a purple heart, like pushing the book and something about a purple heart, right? Because he's pushing you out, your son. He's pushing you out. And the Wheel of Fortune card, for me, is like, that's that new cycle energy, and in conjunct with the world, like bringing something to the world. So I think this is a nudge to like get yourself into a community of people that are like-minded with you, start focusing on a community of people, nudge you on this book energy, right? Start getting this book going. And there's a symbol or significance of a purple heart that I think your son's showing me too. So he's also pushing, Mom, get out now, get out. Go, meet people, get out in the world, like start this new chapter now. Almost giving that blessing to move forward. All right, Patty? So, I think you'll understand the Purple Heart reference too. And let me see if there's anything else before that. With Iggy, if that was you, yeah, put the thumb down, Iggy. I love it. Was that you, Iggy? Was that you? I think it's hilarious. Wow, look at these. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Patty. Okay. So it feels like the Ace of Pentacles is like financial rewards, right? But with the Ace of Cups, that's like a new birth of something, right? Creativity overflowing. So I feel like you will have a burst of creativity coming forth, and it could be with the book we were just mentioning before, which could be profitable, you know. And this is your son with the Eight of Cups that's saying to get away, get away from the past, get out of the old mundane, get away from all that, start new. It's time for the new journey. I will be with you, right? God, I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Start new journey, and I will be with you, says your son. So yes, go into that modality. Okay. And so everything feels like fresh and new, and I think you'll start feeling those wheels turn, rather soon too. So that's a really good reveal, I would say, for that, Patty. So, no, my psychic ability says that someone didn't like that I was telling people that race, gender, and the identity politics was not important. So someone got triggered by that because my identity is who I am. I need my identity. How dare you say that? My identity is who I am. So there was some fool that didn't like that. So good. It's only one person, so they're all by themselves on that. So good. They're probably alone in their homes too. Will continue to be. Keep your identity. See how that's going for you. You can see what your identity is going to bring to you. Good luck on that. That's what my psychic ability says about who did that. It's hilarious. Actually, and all joking aside, people like that I feel empathy for because they will be trampled on as things evolve. As a species evolves, they will be trampled on, and it's not going to be pretty for those people. I do give love to people like that, but we're at a stage right now. It's like, nature and Mother Nature is unforgiving. Just like in the animal species, those who are slower and weak just get left behind. It's just what happens. So we can say it's cruel enough, but that's how life works. That's how our Mother Nature, that's how God operates. So who you calling cruel if that's what it is? That's how people learn. And so sometimes these souls that are in torment of themselves and they're hung to their identity politics, my identity, they're just going to need to have a reset. They're going to have to fall off this earth and then have to reset to get I think the reset is something that they need. It's kind of putting them out of their misery so they get an opportunity to start again. So, I see a lot of these people, it's not going to end very, very good for them. And so I do the best I can to awaken people to this, but people are holding on to their beliefs so hard. I talked about this last week about beliefs. People will do anything for their fucking beliefs, and beliefs are nothing but just thoughts. Not grounded in reality, most of them. There's no even fundamental truths behind these beliefs. And so they're actually depriving themselves because they're so just word. It's almost like taking a piece of information, saying, I'm going to die for this piece of information. That's what beliefs are. They don't free you, they bind you. And if you're choosing to be in bondage, good for you. Thumbs down to you. Next question is for Felicia Guzman. One question. Are we going to get a loan that we applied for? Let's see. Let me see the odds of this. I love Samantha. I love you, Samantha, and I love you, Iggy. Samantha, keep it simple. Again, stay in your lane. It's free. Exactly. Oh God, Iggy, I love you too. See, for me, when I call it stuff out, it's comedy for me. I think it's funny. Like when I react to stuff like that, to me, it's funny in my head. Like it's comical. Yeah, I mean, Felicia, yeah, it feels. I just like there might need to be 2 attempts or two tries, but it feels like yes. Page of Swords is like kind of, the swords is kind of very a legal aspect, so it seems like someone like a loner or someone with a plan for you in a sense. So yeah, I definitely feel that it feels like the loan will come through. I just felt like a two tries or 2 attempts is what I felt like, or something of that nature. I don't know what that means. If it's not 2 tries, maybe they need something other additional information that will help. But yeah, it seems likely to me. It reads likely in that sense, yeah. We have Lindsay. I have to log in again. They don't want to keep me logged in for a while. Okay. 3450. Lindsay, okay. Lindsay, did you ask your one question? But what's the question, Lindsay? You didn't put the question in there. So Lindsay Wood, I'm not gonna say the full last name, but Lindsay Wood, if you can put the question in the chat, because you just put one question, you didn't ask the one question. So put the question in the box there and I will answer it because you didn't put it in there. So and I'll just move on until we see it. So Nina, if you could look for Lindsay Woodcocks in the chat and just tell her that she didn't put the question in the comment box, if she can put it in the chat, and I'll answer it through there. And that would be great. Okay, card pull for Patricia Bone Cutter. Sorry, I'm just dropping cards over here. Okay, card pull. All right. Let's see here for Patricia. Yeah, I mean, Patty, that was a message. You know? The purple hearts, too, Patty. You know, look up, if you can, Patty, look up the symbology of a purple heart. Okay? There's some, I feel like you'll be seeing that a lot, too, because he just kept showing me that purple heart emoji, you know, or the symbol or significance of it, you know. So I would look up the reference of that. All right, this is for Patricia. You're good. I just thought it was funny, Lindsay. Like, one question. Yeah, just type in the chat, Lindsay, and I'll answer that right here. Okay. All right. Well, Patricia, you're not finding the balance yet, are you? Well, here's one thing I want you to understand. If you're struggling to find the balance between, you know, what you need to do versus what you're doing, it is going to be a challenge. Just embrace that. It's not going to come right away. You spent so much time in, I would say, the imbalanced state, you know, attending to other people, caring for other people, right? And not making yourself the priority, that it's going to take time to readjust to that. It's going to take some time, right? And so, you know, when you look at that spectrum of what you're doing now and give yourself time to do so, you'll allow yourself to see the little indications from spirit of like, okay, I need this for myself. Okay, I need this. Like, you'll start seeing it if you allow yourself to. Like, you're not going to go to 0 to 60, right? But if you understand its steps, then the process will be a lot faster than you think, and then you'll start allowing yourself to see the change ahead and to see the movement moving forward, and you wouldn't be so much being stuck between two things. Because again, right now they're saying that you're stuck between two ideologies, or excuse me, you're stuck between two conditional things. It's either this or that. And I just want to say to you, it's just right now, make it this and that right now, and understand you're the center of it. Okay? But find the balance between the two aspects, you know, and so remember, the things that you do, the things that that you're involved in, is an aspect of yourself. So, you know, putting love back into those things is actually an aspect of putting love into you as well. A lot of times when we stress ourselves out with the things that we love, we become indifferent to it, and then we don't want to engage with it anymore, and we stop putting love into it, and then we just become stressed because we didn't find the balance of, like, let me nurture the self and attend to what I need to attend to. So they're saying that you've heard this before, but they're saying, like, it's okay if it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, but at least if you allow yourself to grasp that it's a process, you can start seeing how things are opening up. You'll get the message from spirit of the next steps, right? The next things to do, the next thing to do for yourself. So give yourself that patience, you know, stop rushing for yourself and patient for everybody else. Maybe it should be flip on the other end of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So please do that. Please make sure you're not rushing things for you, that you're not rushing your own process and giving yourself a harder time with that, because then your process will be in balance in no time. So, and I think also they want you to understand is that your theme and your lesson here is balance, you know? So yeah. Good night, Mrs. Sydney Aaron. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. And I know it's probably late there on your end. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. Question. Let's go with. Okay. So, first question. I have a powerful psychic medium in my family who I have not spoken to in over 9 years. I felt like he has been psychically attacking me since. That's interesting. We talked about this morning on Leading Out Loud. I become more sensitive in my own psychic abilities. I do try to block him, but my question is if there is a better way that I can approach keeping him out of my mind. Okay. Well, first thing, Lindsay, I want you to watch this morning's episode of Leading Out Loud. We talked about psychic warfare and protection and stuff, so we talked about that. So that'd be good, like an additional resource. But let me see what specifically is the channel there. Like, what are you really picking up on, and why? What is the connection? Because there's a connection. Anytime any psychic warfare can be done, the connection has to be open. So the question is, why are you keeping that open? I think that you have to understand that it's okay if you close down connection. Like there's a subconscious in you that feels guilty for shutting people down. So you might say, I don't want it, but there's a guilt that you have about shutting people out. And I think you got to resolve that guilt and say, look, I don't have to keep people in my life. I don't care what it is. Even though consciously you know that you don't want him attached to you in your life, but you have to get rid of this subconscious guilt that you usually have when you shut people out, because that's blending into keeping this connection open. It's like, if you think of a flap, right, on a pipe, it's like it keeps like this and it keeps coming through in that sense. But I also feel like the information is trying to tell you to utilize your own psychic abilities too, and tune into more of your psychic abilities as well, right? And allow yourself to understand, well, you are a channel. If you were not a channel yourself, you would not be able to, open up and feel this connection either. So the first thing is you get rid of the psychological block. And the psychological block, which is keeping things open, paradoxically, is that you shouldn't have guilt. If someone has no intentions, fuck off, That's why I call things out to you guys when I see shit, because it's okay to call things out. It's quite all right. There are people out there that are assholes. There are people out there that are not great people with good intentions. They should be called out. Our love and light community means that we just pacify everything. I don't believe in that. I don't believe that we should just give them love. Why? They're not getting love. They need to learn how to be loved. And sometimes you can be seeking a love language to someone and they're not going to understand it because they're not in a state of love. They're not going to understand the love language, right? So what you got to understand is that, what love language is also, it has to go to the self as well, which means that you have to protect yourself and shut things down. Right? So I enjoy calling that shit out because I enjoy shutting it down, because too many people let these energies, either through a psychic warfare approach or just stupid trolls or people who are just selfish and, narrow-minded, people just allow that energy to fester. Right? And so in my world, that energy is not going to fester because I don't need that stench around me. I clean the stench out. And that's how we have to see energy. And people carry stench, clean the stench out. We only do this when someone does something very treacherous. Like if someone murders somebody, or someone assaults somebody, or abuses a child, then we start saying, oh fuck that. We do all that energy at that point. You should increase your threshold and say to yourself that no, I don't even deal with even disrespect and that chaotic energy. Not at all. I'm shutting it out. Clean that stench out of here. That's why I call it out, and I will continue to call it out. I don't care if people think it's loving or not. Because, again, let's look at the people who are not spreading the love. Me calling it out is putting it in its place. So same thing here, you, Lindsay, put it in its place. It has no dominion over you, and you should not feel guilty for cutting it out. You don't want it. And again, why would you want to accommodate an energy that is depriving of you or actually poking at you in a negative way? It's no different than someone trying to sexually assault you. You push it away. Same thing here. Energy's energy too. So get rid of the guilt and take a stand for yourself, and you'll block that connection. And again, there's a lot of parasitic entities that will latch on to those vulnerabilities. Okay. And so, and you want to be very careful of the energy that you're putting out in that sense, or whatever energy that you actively have open. I always look at it like pipelines. Which pipelines are you feeding, allowing that connection to be? And so shut it down like closing a faucet, So that's how you do by being consciously aware. And I always say send back to sender. Because again, you got to ask, and everyone listening in this room, when someone says something to you, throws energy at you, what are you going to do with that energy? Oh, I love you. That's okay. Not all the times can you do that. Sometimes you say, no, I don't want this. You can go take a hike and deal with your own shit and send it back to sender. We're all passing balls of energy back and forth. Sometimes it can be converted depending on the individual, but sometimes the individual is sending energy that doesn't relate or even resonate with any type of love language. So therefore, you have to hit it like a bat. There are people who lack empathy. They don't understand love, and they're not going to, by you showing them love and empathy, it's not going to resonate with them. And so you have to understand at situations like that, it's just time to just cut it out and just to push it away, and don't try to understand why someone lacks empathy and that you're supposed to be the one that shows them love. Like, get out of that nonsense, out of that pressure. This is not how life is formatted. Look at how the world is going. Look how Mother Nature evolves. It doesn't evolve like that. Our Creator doesn't function that way. Why would you function that way? Okay? It's about balance and being what's fair. And so, same thing it is. If someone's intruding your balance, cut them out. You know, and I did a video about this too. Cut them out. You have to do that. Be stern about this. And it's all about preserving yourself, especially your channel. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense, Lindsay. But yeah, definitely. I know you said your connection's going in and out, but go back and look up Leading Out Loud, a show Christopher Wittek and I did this morning, and we did it all about psychic warfare and protection. And that would be another additional resource of what you can do. I kind of went into depth this morning on that, of how to do so. All right. You got this. But remember, if you're picking up on the psychic warfare, you're psychic too. So utilize your own power as well. I got into a point too, sometimes I have to call things out, but I do it to demonstrate to others. I want people to see me calling it out on platforms like this, because more and more people need to do that, or more and more people are at stages in their lives, they have to like step up for it. I'm at a point too right now, I just don't care. I'm just like, whatever, like in my own personal life. But I call things out to demonstrate that we all need to be doing that too. Okay? Okay, wonderful. Awesome. So then the message is perfect for you. I mean, it's a perfect time for you again on this. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. And as we said, right, Linda, I appreciate for that comment. But I heard today, people always say the truth hurts. I'm like, why is that? Why is there a common sentiment that the truth hurts? Does that mean everyone's in La La Land? Do you want to be one of those people that the truth hurts? To me, the truth, again, sets me free. I love that cliche sentiment better. Because to me, I'm always striving for the truth, even when I'm wrong. I've had ideologies I believed in. I'm like, I was striving for truth. I'm like, those ideologies are wrong. And I had to really completely deconstruct those ideologies and start over again. And now I'm at a point, I'm like, good, I'm evolving, right? That now that's a sense of passion and excitement for me, because then I know I'm evolving now, because I'm, getting rid of those older ideologies. But many people just want to hold on to those ideologies, and that's very dangerous. All right, carpool for Stephanie. That's true, Iggy. People are coddled this day and age. We got to step your foot down, Everybody at different ends of the spectrum keeps saying this is a spiritual warfare. Okay, what do you do in spiritual warfare? I love you. I love you. No, you stand up. And even Yeshua himself, when I use this analogy every single time, like a broken record, even when they were bartering in the temple, Yeshua didn't go light on them. Threw them out. He kicked them out. Didn't say, go in love. He said, get the hell out of here. Don't do this in the temple. So... Our Creator doesn't like something, Mother Nature will take care of people, so. Thank you, Stephanie. I can't say that so much anymore, but yeah, tell your family to go fuck themselves. Good luck. You're speaking my language, Stephanie. That's true, That's why I said bafanculo. Because at the end of the day, guys, we're going to have, we're all creating this in spirit, in spirit reality. We're all creating all this. So there's no offense here. We all learn. So sometimes people learn when if someone stands up against their behavior, they learn better from that. So everything's all good in heaven, whatever you want to call it. I'd say spirit reality. We're all creating, we understand these things. So, we're just trying to make change and to bring truth and revelation to people and ourselves. So there's no offense in spirit. So... That's why nothing offends me in the physical life. I'm always swatting energy away I don't like, All right, for Stephanie, these are good cards. Six of Pentacles, I couldn't pick it up. And the Page of Cups here. So this looks like a good investment opportunity. So investments, the money coming your way, opportunities working out, investments working out. The Page of Cups is like a new messenger. So it could be a new contact. right? Or a new contract, right? Or a business. I was gonna say business program. I've been stuttering a lot in Scorpion season right now. A new contract, new business endeavor, something, or if you've been trying to work with some sort of business endeavor and it's stalling, I feel like it's like this new message on this, new movement on it. So yeah, this is all about kind of just my generosity card, but it's also like investments come to fruition, you getting the money that you're intended to get, right? And of course, the Page of Cups is like an invitation, like a messenger or a message. So for me, in this case, it's like somebody comes back with a final decision on something that works in your favor. So it reads good in the financial aspects and in business. So, you know, it might even be, but that could also be a romantic proposition too, in conjunction, all the above. So. Lindsay, you say, I have definitely done this to him multiple times. Right, but Lindsay, why do you keep opening it back up? Right? It's that guilt. Get rid of that guilt because you open it up again. Okay, just like, nope, stay firm. You know? Because otherwise, all you have to do is once and one and done. It should always be one and done. That's your power. We're rising up, it's one and done. That's in my song. And culture. All right, last but certainly not least is Brandy Ainsley. Hope I said the correct card pull. You keep saying that, but it's coming next year, so you can hush about that. Okay? But I know you're in hustle mode, but I told you, like, next year, you know, last week I told you next year, like, love kept coming up, like a romantic proposition. So keep pushing it away. It's going to become closer. But to me, the Page of Cups is symbolizing kind of both for me, that new business, like a finalization of the business, a contract or you know, connection relationship in a sense, and also a new proposition of love. So. Folgers in your cup. What made that what did that come from? Folgers. Best part of waking up, right? That commercial. God. This is where I'm very old. Okay. Let me see how I want to read this here. This can go two directions for me too, unless it is two directions. Yeah, I feel like there's an investment. This is like the King of Pentacles, Two of Cups. This is like the King of Pentacles is my practicality card, but also it's my lawyer card, my financial investment card. Right? You know what I mean? It's all about the money, legalities and stuff. And the Two of Cups is like a partnership. So you might go into partnership with somebody on a business idea or business endeavor. So there might be some sort of partnership that you establish that will go in your favor, especially when it comes to legality in a sense. So I feel like that's kind of maybe something that will be coming soon for you. Some sort of partnership when it comes to like an idea of legality, a business adventure. So yeah, because if it was just the King of Pentacles, I would say there's some legal matter or attorney that you need. But in this case, with the Two of Cups, there's some partnership that you might go on with some sort of business venture or idea. And of course, the Two of Cups is, you know, when it talks about partnerships, a very positive card. So it's one that works. Let me just pull something else in conjunction to that. I got the Justice card too with that, so there's a legality. So of course, any type of business agreement or business venture is also like there's some sort of legality, a binding legality with that too. So that's good. But yeah, it feels future tense. Maybe with a lover too. I don't know. Maybe it's with a partner. Maybe if you have a husband, maybe you do something with your husband or that nature. Because the reason I keep going back and forth because I feel like business venture, then I feel like a love energy too connected with that. So if you have a partner, perhaps you also you get into a business endeavor with a person you're in a relationship with, or you get into an endeavor, a business endeavor, and that turns into love. I don't know, but it's surrounding the two. You know, so. So I'll pay attention to that. So to me, that's good movement in that sense, especially when it comes to business or any type of investment. If you want to keep it simple, it feels like things are going good in that direction and will be going good in that direction. But yeah, there's a lot of mixed energy surrounding that. So maybe I'm just reading that maybe if you have a husband, you and your husband do a business venture, if it's that simple. If you don't have a husband, then you get in business venture with somebody and then maybe you find love shortly after that. Okay. So we have Andy Joe. is the last but certain. This is the last but certain, not least. And I will let's close these down over here. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. All right, Andy. The question is, hi, Scott. You tapped in for our beautiful fur babies, Winter and Chubbs. Want to know if you have any insight on Winter, our husky's health, and the pups would like to tell us anything. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Oh no, my sound effects are still on. Let me see. I don't know if it's on the. Let me see. Yeah, there's some sort of. I'm hearing like a. It feels something here in the nasal passage with the husky with Winter. I hear like there's some sort of. It feels like a bacterial infection or something. Right now. They keep showing me like one of the eyes too, so there might be like a bacterial infection or something, or even a mild, like a mild sense of conjunctivitis or something like that hasn't gone so far. It feels congestive. It feels bacterial to me, with the husky's health, and I'm feeling lethargic, with his health in that way. I'm looking at other parts of the body. I keep wanting to focus on the respiratory, the nasal passage in that sense. I think he just farted too, because I think he just tooted. I mean, he also might be having a little gas too. But sometimes when you eat something very acidic, and you feel like that pressure, like acid, it feels a lot here, right in the chest, like almost like acid reflux. So I just feel a lot of pressure here, and it's also affecting the congestive nasal passage too, I feel like. And so, yeah. But I feel like it'll recover. Oh, okay. Has a heart. Okay, that makes sense. The respiratory. Yeah, because I was feeling a pressure here in the respiratory, And she's recovering from. Okay, but it's not there, right? Because I didn't sense that. Because okay, let me see. You said she's trying to recover, and yes, she has had some eye boogies. Okay, so she has recovered. Yeah, because I didn't sense it. So it might just be just a little bacterial infection from this, right? And then also the breathing is also being constricted because of that. Because it felt like when you have like the acid reflux feels very tight in a sense, and just like with the breathing. So, but it felt to me like she'd recover from that. So that's good. You're saying recover. So yeah, it doesn't feel long term. Colloidal silver would be great for the eyes. Any type of eye infection for humans and dogs, colloidal silver works wonders on that. So definitely, and maybe a couple drops in the mouth too, being that I was feeling this congestion coming up. And that could be also from the surgery she's recovering from, that it's kind of just some lingering bacterial from that. And so just the colloidal silver would be wonderful for that, Yes, if you're consistent with it. Yeah, if you're consistent with it. I don't have a problem with Eastern and Western, but I always lean on Eastern. But like my dog just recently, he had an eye issue too, actually. So, and what I was doing wasn't working, so I had to put him on an antibiotic, and it got better. So don't be afraid on the Western. Just understand it's very powerful when you use both. When you use both. Yeah, because I find the power, because sometimes what we get from the Western, the Eastern can repair whatever damages that the Western medicine is creating. So don't be afraid if you need to do any type of Western treatment either. It's just, you understand the limits of that, right? That's not supposed to be long-term. It's just for temporary purposes. You'll be good. I know. I felt her looking, and I also felt her toot. I felt her toot when I was feeding her or something. So, yeah. And just in general, the pups, I'm getting a message from. Give me a second. They said, "Mommy, chill out." Okay, so your pups, generally speaking, that you're too stressed. You're a little too stressed. So maybe just don't be too stressed, okay? About, what's going on with them. That sometimes just give things time. You're too stressed, they're saying. That's what they're saying, in collective, the pups are saying, "Mom, you're too stressed. Don't, de-stress." Don't be too stressed. Okay? So that's what they're saying. But they're happy. They feel, again, like they're royalty. You treat them like royalty, so they're all good. And yeah, I feel like winter is definitely on the path of healing if you're just consistent. And don't be afraid of Western too, especially if you're doing Eastern, because that can be a very magical potion for both. Okay, but yeah, two toots tootsie. Yeah, it's exactly. We had a character Iggy, Eric, and I created back in the past called Two Tooth Tootsie. I was talking about people who show presentation of who they are, but like at the end of the day, there's they're not what they're presenting themselves to be. And I referenced a movie called "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker" from the '80s, and it was a Wayans movie. And he took home a girl, and she was like all beautiful. Then she's like, you know what? I have a secret. This hair, it ain't mine. This breast, it ain't mine. She took off all the components. She had one leg. She's a peg leg, and she had two teeth. So we said, you don't want to find yourself with a two-tooth tootsie or a peg leg Peggy, right? So, yeah, you should definitely. We'd love to bring him on at some point. That'd be cool, for sure. Even just to come on and say hi, that'd be cool. That'd be awesome. That's awesome. Especially, I love huskies. I think when I move and get a bigger yard and. Maybe if I want to get a second dog, then I'll get a husky because I love huskies so much. Because I didn't want to get a second dog that's a husky because I live in Palm Springs. It's always warm. I want to go into a cooler climate and get a husky. So they're beautiful dogs. Beautiful dogs. One of my faves. All right, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure. I will leave you guys with with the sound bath from Lafayette. The same one as last week, but something's telling me to play it again tonight. And so here's a little 5-minute sound bathing. So take some good time to relax, meditate, and I'll get back and do a closing. So here's a little bit of, I think it's 4 minutes of a little sound bath to kind of decompress and to unwind. Y'all still there? Did I ruin it with my voice now? I was like, oh, every time I like have to edit videos, I'm like, I'm sick of hearing my voice. I'm like, slow down, Scott, slow down. Sometimes I talk too fast, but that was very, very nice. It's nice to have a moment to slow down. And so I'm trying to get Lafayette to do like a little, a CD, like a little, I mean, we don't do CDs anymore, but a little, just like, you know, the meditational binaural, you know, things like that. And so y'all can buy it. Right. Well, so we'll get them to do like maybe 4 or 5 on a compilation, get them on iTunes and we'll sell them. We'll get you guys to buy some of that because not everyone can do simplicity like that and really bring a vibe. And it's very rare. And I'm a musician too. And so I know. And there's something about when Lafayette does his sound bathing stuff, it hits, you know, it really hits hard. So, not many people can do this. That's a skill set. It's very simple, but it's challenging to make it simple and effective as well. So it's more complex than we even see. So yes. So coming soon, I'm going to push him to do that because we all need it and we all want it. And I also have some frequency meditations on my website too, if you guys want to check out. And I'll even put when we get his up, put in my store too. And check out my music too on Apple Music and Spotify. Scott Cruz. I need to be pitching my music more, and I'm working on new music now. Just have a lot of stuff I've been doing besides making stupid videos. And so, but you know, the stupid videos I make is just part of my personality. I like to show people how stupid my mind can be and what's going on in this head of mine. So, because I like to be philosophical, but I also like to I have so many different dynamics I like to express. So, and I also feel like being spiritual is to make fun of things, is to laugh about things. And so laughter is a huge part of spiritual growth too. We need to laugh a lot more and be silly. So yeah, definitely check out my own music too. I'm very, very passionate about that. My last song I did was called Come Alive. And you guys will kind of hear a piece of that. I'm going to end with one of my commercials. And so, yeah, it's Scott Cruz there. And if you want to book a personal one-on-one session, of course, so more specific, more in depth, because, of course, I'm with you. I'm not reading just a text on a screen with a question. So scottcruzpm.com is where you can book a personal session, live one-on-one reading, mediumship session. If you want to connect with someone who's crossed over, as well as I offer an intuition builder course, you can do it there. And Chris Reck will be joining me next week for Halloween. So you guys going to be here for Halloween. Hopefully you can catch it. I'm going to try to get him to dress up. So we'll do it. And Leading Out Loud in the morning will be. I'm streaming it now back on my site. Or excuse me, my channel. I'm streaming LOL back to my channel again. Or you can just check on the Leading Out Loud channel too. So we'll have a show in the morning, and also my live show next week will be Chris Reck. We'll do tab teaching readings with him. As we do every last Thursday of the month. And let's see if I can get him to dress up. Maybe we'll dress up, do something funny. And so, yeah, so tune in next week. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you for joining me, as always. I appreciate all you guys. And I'm going to ask this, and I cringe even saying this, but please smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. And just the reason why I laughed, those who don't know, I did not want to go on YouTube. My guides have been telling me for a while to go on YouTube. I did not want to be on YouTube. And until things start slowing down, then, then I'm like, let me go on YouTube. And so that's why I'm here. So now that I'm saying I've been on YouTube, I think a year now, it's been a year. It's building slowly with that. And so now I do want my channel to grow now. And so if you guys can share this channel, people who are looking for inspiration or a place to hang out on Thursday nights, bring them here. Love to build a great community, as you guys are fantastic in the chat and communing with each other. So it's been wonderful, and we love to see it grow, love to see it expand. And so I can't do without you guys too. So hit it up, spread it around, and yes, and I'll see you next Thursday. I appreciate every single one of you guys for coming tonight. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. And as I always say, remember, you are all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? And what am I running after this? Okay, 2 commercials. All right. Much love, guys. Good night.
Scott Cruz is popularly known for his life-changing one-on-one readings to also guide in your soul ascension journey. With life readings, get insight into your relationships, career, health, trauma healings, past life regressions, and more. Want to connect with a loved one who's transitioned? Scott's mediumship session can be the gateway to you and your loved ones in spirit, bridging the gap between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you want to enhance your own psychic ability, Scott's Intuition Builder session can help expand your psychic and mediumship abilities. So sign on to scottcruzpm.com to book your own personal session today.
Are you or your loved ones suffering from CRDR like this? Even though I have absolutely no game plan, I'm going to be a multi-millionaire in the next 6 months just by visualizing. Because as all the YouTube videos say, I'm worth it. Or like this.
Even though he's straight and he's gone to prison for gay bashing, I can see us together. Super cute. So I'm going to go up to him directly and I'm going to ask him out. Because I'm worth it.
Or how about like this?
Even though I'm 60 years old and have absolutely no rhythm and a butt as flat as a pancake, I'm visualizing my inner Kardashian coming out. So I'm quitting my job and I'm going to twerk my way to the top because I'm worth it.
Are you or your loved ones suffering from the creating reality despite reality syndrome? Well, hi. I'm Scott Cruz, psychic medium and mentor, and I'm here to help. Helping you to bring your actual thoughts into actual reality. Bringing the I am, the I'm into possibilities. Helping you to avoid decades of delusion, as well as making very fatal mistakes.
It's okay! I can alter gravity with my mind!
So visit scottcruzpm.com and find out what your possibilities are.
Hello, this is Donkey Trump, and together we can make manifestation great again.